So, students, in this session, we will discuss synapses on biodiversity and conservation. So, what is biodiversity? The diversity of organisms existing, the diverse types of organisms existing around the Earth, what we call it as biodiversity. So, in this biodiversity and conservation, biodiversity is the variety of flora and fauna on this planet Earth. The term biodiversity was first coined by the E.O. Wilson in 1986. It is occurrence of different types of genes, gene pool, species, ecosystems. Biosphere diversity exists not only at the species level but at all levels of biological organization, ranging from macromolecules within the cell to biomes. Diversity is a basic property of life. Biodiversity, our planet Earth has enormous diversity of life. There are more than 20,000 species of ants, 3 lakh species of beetles, 28,000 species of fishes, and nearly 20,000 species of orchids. These are the diversity of ants, diversity in beetles, and this is diversity of aquatic life in one diagram, and common fishes of only Maldives you can find here. This is diversity of the angiosperms, orchids. This overall biodiversity you can find. Diversity of animals broadly classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates includes mammal, fishes, reptiles, amphibians, and birds. And invertebrates will start right from poriferas, cnidarians, flatworms, true worms, molluscas, echinoderms, and arthropods. Diversity is basically differentiate into three types: genetic diversity, species diversity, ecosystem diversity. What is genetic diversity? It is the diversity in a number and the types of genes as well as chromosome present in a different species and variation in genetic information within a species. Genetic diversity is useful in adaptation to change in environmental conditions. It is the basis of speciation. A single species might show high diversity at the genetic level or its distribution range. Because of genetic diversity, Rauwolfia ommiteria, growing in different Himalayan ranges, has different potency and concentration of the active chemical respirin. So diversity of mycoplasm is around 450 to 700, Escherichia coli around 4000 species, Saccharomyces around 6000 species, Drosophila around 13,000 species, Oryzae sativa is around 32 to 50,000 species we can find. Rauwolfia ommiteria, different variations of the Rauwolfia ommiteria we can see in this picture. These are the diversity of mangoes. India has more than 50,000 genetically different strains of rice and around 1000 varieties of mangoes. Genes are the basic units of heredity information transmitted from one generation to another generation. These are the rice varieties in India which are existing. Around 50,000 varieties of rice are existing in India. Species diversity, the diversity at the species level. It is the variety in the number and richness of a species of a region. Number of species per unit area called species richness. Proportionate number of individuals of a different species represents species evenness. What is species richness? The number of species per unit area is called species richness. Proportionate number of individuals of a different species represents species evenness. The diversity at the species level, for example, the Western Ghats has a greater amphibian species diversity than the Eastern Ghats. This is amphibian species diversity in the Western Ghats. Ecological diversity is the last type of diversity. Diversity at the community and ecosystem level, what we call as ecological diversity. The ecological diversity can be divided into alpha diversity, beta diversity, and gamma diversity. Alpha diversity refers to species diversity within the ecosystem. It is measured by counting the number of taxa within the ecosystem, usually species level. Beta diversity is a species diversity between ecosystem or the rate of replacement between communities. This involves comparing the number of taxa that are unique to each of the ecosystems. Gamma diversity is a measure of the overall diversity for the different ecosystem within a region. This is within the gamma diversity is within the region, beta diversity is diversity between the ecosystem, and alpha diversity is within the ecosystem. So you can find here the first one is alpha diversity of a community, that is within an ecosystem what are the richness of the species we are going to see. Beta diversity is comparing between the ecosystem. Gamma diversity is the different ecosystems existing in the whole region. India with its deserts, rainforests, mangroves, coral reefs, wetlands, estuaries, and the alpine meadows as a greater ecosystem diversity than the Scandinavian country like Scandinavian countries like Norway. The different biodiversities of the India we can find here: submarine mangroves, forest, desert, coastal areas, the glacial covered areas. How many species are there on Earth and in India? According to International Union for Conservation of Nature, the total number of plant and animal species described so far is slightly more than 1.5 million. But we have no clear idea of how many species are yet to be discovered and described. Some extreme estimates range from 20 to 50 million, but a more conservative and scientifically estimation is made by Robert May, place the global species diversity at about 7 million. Animal diversity is more than plants. What are the silent features what we will see in a diversity on Earth? Animal diversity is more than the plants. More than 70% of all species are animals. Plants more than 22%, including algae, fungi, bryophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Among animals, insects are the more than 70% of the total animals. That means out of every 10 animals on this planet, 7 are insects. The number of fungi species in the world is more than combined total of the species of fishes, amphibians, and reptiles and mammals. So the fungi species is equivalent to combined fishes, amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. So here we can find the NCERT diagrams for the biodiversity representing global biodiversity, proportionate number of the species of major taxa of plants, invertebrates, and vertebrates. In invertebrates, what we have is an insect is a dominant group, followed by the next is molluscans, and then followed by crustaceans, and remaining all other animal groups. Among the vertebrates, the fishes is a dominant group, then followed by the reptiles, birds, amphibians, and mammals. And among the plants, what we will find is the dominant group is angiosperms, and then followed by fungi. Then what we have is algae, then the mosses, fern, and allises, and lichens. Representing the global biodiversity, proportionate number of species of a major taxa of all 5 kingdom. Protozoa, you can find here it is 30,000, 30,000, fungi 66,000, monera and bacteria 4,600, Viruses are 1100 what we can find. The predominant is insects around 7 lakhs 40,000, and next what we have is a plants 2 lakhs 90,000, then algae 23,000, other animals around 2 lakhs 80,000. Species are there in India include India has only 2.4% of a world land area. Its shares of the global species diversity in an 8.1%. Our country, one of the 12 mega diversity countries of the world, nearly 45,000 species of plants and twice as many animals have been recorded from India. If we accept May's global estimate, only 22% of the total species have been recorded so far in India. Applying this proportion to the India's diversity figure, there are probably more than 1 lakh plant species and more than 3 lakh animal species yet to be discovered and described. Megadiversity countries, around 12 megadiversity countries are categorized like Australia, Brazil, China, Colombia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ecuador, India, Indonesia, Madagascar, Malaysia, Mexico, South Africa. 10 biogeographic zones of India includes one is a Trans-Himalayan region, second one is Himalayas, third one is a semi-arid areas, Western Ghat, Northwestern desert regions, Deccan Plateau, Gangetic Plain, Northeast India, coastal zone, Iceland present near the shoreline, or the 10 biogeographic zones of India. Endemic species in India what we can find is amphibians 60%, fishes 53%, reptiles 36%, angiosperms 33%, mammals 10%. Huge number of endemic species are in the Western Ghats. Pattern of biodiversity. The first one is latitudinal gradients. The diversity of a plant animal is not uniform throughout the world, but shows a rather uneven distribution and interesting patterns in a diversity seen in latitudinal gradient in diversity. Species diversity decreases as we move away from the equator towards the poles. So at the equator we have high diversity. As we move from the equator towards the pole, the biodiversity is going to decrease. Colombia, located near equator, has nearly 1,400 species of birds. New York at 41 degree number has 105 species of birds. Greenland at 71 degree of a North Pole only 56 species of birds. India has more than 1,200 species of birds. In tropical region like Ecuador has up to 10 times the higher number. Vascular plants are equal area in a temperature region like the Midwest of the USA. Largely, the tropical Amazonian rainforest in South America has the greatest biodiversity on Earth. It is home to more than 40,000 species of plants, 3,000 species of fishes, 1,300 species of birds, 427 species of mammals, 427 species of amphibians, 378 species of reptiles, and 1,25,000 species of invertebrates. Scientists estimate that in the rainforest there might be at least 2 million insect species waiting to be discovered and named. Amazon rainforest is considered as lungs of our planet. Reason for greater biological diversity in tropical regions. Speciation is generally a function of time. Tropical latitudes have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years and thus had a long evolutionary time. As long duration available for speciation, it leads to species diversification. First reason. Second is, while temperate region subjected to frequent glaciation in the past, tropical environment relatively more constant and predictable than that of the temperate regions. Such constant environment promote niche specialization and leads to greater species diversity. What is niche specialization? How organisms respond, behave with the environment and other organisms of biotic community. There is more solar energy available in tropics which contributes to higher productivity This in turn might contribute indirectly to greater diversity. Species richness. The number of species per unit area, the great German naturalist and the geographer Alexander von Humboldt observed that within a region, species richness increased with increasing explored area, but only up to a limit. In fact, the relation between species richness and the area for a wide variety of taxa like angiosperms, plants, birds, bats, freshwater fishes turns out to be rectangular hyperbola or a non-linear curve. On longitudinal scale, the relationship is straight line. The relationship straight line described by equation that is s is equal to c to the power of c and a to the power of z. If we apply logarithmic, log s is equal to log c plus z log a. Log s is equal to log c plus z log a is the equation where the equation terminologies include s is a species richness, a is area, z is slope of the line, and c is y-intercept. Ecologists have discovered that the value of z lies in the range of 0.1 to 0.2, regardless of the taxonomic group or the reason, whether it is the plants in a Britain, birds in a California, or a mollusca in a New York State. The slopes of the regression line are amazingly similar. But if you analyze the species area relationship among a very large areas like the entire continents, you will find that the slope of the line to be much steeper. Z values in the range of 0.6 to 1.2. 0.6 to 1.2 when we'll take the continents, intercontinents. For example, for frugivorous birds, that is fruit-eating birds and mammals in the tropical forest of a different continents, the slope is found to be 1.15. Since from many decades, ecologists believed that communities with more species generally tend to be more stable than those with the less species. What exactly is stability for biological community? David Tillmans found that the plots with more species showed less year-to-year variation in total biomass. He also showed that in his experiments, increased diversity contribute to higher productivity. Rich biodiversity is not only essential for ecosystem health but imperative for the very survival of human race on this planet. Does it really matter to us if a few species become extinct? Would Western Ghat ecosystem be less functional if one of its tree frog species is lost forever? How is our quality of life affected if, say, instead of 20,000, we have only 15,000 species of ants on Earth? So, thus, Rivert-Popper hypothesis: what if we lost few species? Will it affect means of life? Stanford ecologist Paul Ehrlich, taking an aeroplane as an ecosystem. In an aeroplane, all parts are joined together using thousands of rivets. If every passenger traveling in it starts popping a rivet to take home, causing species to become extinct, it may not affect flight safety, proper functioning of ecosystem initially, but as more and more rivets are removed, the plane becomes dangerously weak over a period of time. Furthermore, which rivet is removed may also be critical. Removing a rivet from a seat or other relatively minor important parts may not be damage the plane, but removal of rivet from a part supporting the wing can result in crash. Likewise, removal of important species may affect entire ecosystem. Loss of biodiversity. The biological wealth of our planet has been declining rapidly due to the human activities. First is colonization. Tropical Pacific islands by human led to extinction of more than 2000 species of native birds. The IUCN Red List documents the extinction of 784 species, including 338 vertebrates, 359 invertebrates, and 87 plants in the last 500 years. Some examples of recent extinctions include the dodo in Mauritius, quag in Africa, thylacine on Australia, Steelers sea cow in Russia, three subspecies Bali, Javan, Caspian of tiger species. Passenger pigeon and Steelers sea cow are got extincted mainly due to overexploitation. Dodo, quag, thylacine, Australian Tasmanian tiger, what we call woolly mammoth. These are the different types of tigers. Three subspecies Bali, Javan, Caspian of the tigers. Now there are only 6 subspecies of tigers left. The last 20 years, disappearance of a 27 species, some groups like amphibians. More than 15,500 species worldwide are facing the threat of extinction. Presently, 12% of all the bird species, 23% of all mammal species, 32% of amphibians, uh, 31% of all gymnosperm species in the world face the threat of extinction. During the long period, 3 billion years since the origin and diversification of life on Earth, there were 5 episodes of mass extinction of species. How is the 6th extinction presently in progress different from the previous episodes? The difference is in the rates. The current species extinction rates are estimated to be 100 to 1000 times faster than in the pre-human times, and our activities are responsible for the faster extinction. Ecologists said that if the present trend continue, nearly half of all the species on Earth might be wiped out within the next 100 years. In general, loss of biodiversity in a region may lead to first decline in a plant production, lowered resistance to environmental issues such as drought and floods. Causes of biodiversity loss. There are three major causes, what we call, there are four major causes called evil quadrate. It is subrequet used to describe them. So, very cute. First one is habitat loss and fragmentation. Second one is overexploitation. Third one is alien species invaginations. Fourth one is co-extinction. Habitat loss and fragmentation. This is the most important cause to extinction of animals and plants. The most dramatic examples of habitat loss is tropical rainforest. Rainforest once covering more than 14% of the Earth's land surface, these rainforests now cover no more than 6%. The Amazon rainforest, called as the lungs of our planet, probably the millions of species being cut and cleared for cultivating soybeans or for conversion to grasslands for raising beef cattle. When large habitats are broken up into small fragments due to various human activities, like migration of mammals and birds, leading to population decline. This is a picture of Amazon rainforest. Second reason for causing species extinction is overexploitation. Humans have always depended on nature for food and shelter, but when need turns to greed, it leads to overexploitation of natural resources. Many species extinctions in the last 500 years Example, stealer sea cow and passenger pigeon were due to overexploitation by humans. Presently, many marine fishes population around the world are overharvested, endangering the continued existence of some commercial important species. This is the fish which are in verge of extinction. Collardo picimeno, bonitail, humpback chub, razorback sucker, orchids. Now, alien species invagination, the third reason for population species extinction. When alien species are introduced, or that is exotic species from different reason, if it is introduced deliberately for whatever the purpose, some of the some of them turn invasive and causes decline or extinction of indigenous species, that is local species. Examples for the alien species invagination. First, the nail perch introduced into Lake Victoria in East Africa led to the extinction of more than 200 species of cichled fish in the lake. These are diagrams cichled fish. This is nail perch. Environmental damage and the threat caused to our native species by invasive weed species like carrot grass called Parthenium, Lantana water Asian of Ecornia. The pictures you can see as students. These are weeds introduced along with the wheat varieties. The recent illegal introduction of African catfish, Claris gracipiens, for aquaculture purpose is posing threat to indigenous catfish in our rivers. The African catfish. Third reason is co-extinction. Fourth reason, when a species becomes extinct, the plant and animal species associated with it in an obligatory way also become extinct. When a host fish species become extinct, the parasite which depends on them also meets the same fate. Another example is the case of co-evolved plant pollinator mutualism, where extinction of one leads to extinction of the other. How do we conserve biodiversity? Biodiversity conservation. How do we conserve biodiversity? It is a scientific management and preservation, restoration of biodiversity, also known as conservation ecology, where an animal or a plant is endangered or threatened and needs urgent measures to save it from the extinction. There are two types of conservation basically. In situ, that is on the site. Second one is ex situ, that is in a different site. In situ in the sense in its natural environment, conserving the animals or organisms in its natural environment, what we call it as in situ conservation, or the conservation of animals other than its natural environment by artificially constructing is called ex situ conservation. First one, in situ, protecting, preserving, restoring threatened species in their own natural habitat at conservation. In Invariably, the number of species waiting to be saved from extinction for far exceeds and the conservation resources available. On a global basis, this problem has been addressed by the eminent conservationists. They identified for maximum protection certain biodiversity hotspot regions. What is hotspot? With a very high level of species richness and high degree of endemism of a flora and fauna. If there is a high level of species richness and high degree of endemism of a flora and fauna in a given area is called as biodiversity hotspot. This concept was developed by Norman Mayers in 1988. Initially, 25 biodiversity hotspots were identified, but subsequently 9 more have been added to the list, bringing the total number of biodiversity hotspots in the world to 34. In India, there are 3: Western Ghats and Sri Lanka, Indo-Burman region, and Himalayas are the 3 biodiversity hotspots existing in India. Biodiversity conservation in India, ecologically unique and biodiversity rich regions are legally protected as biosphere reserves, national parks, sanctuaries, sacred groves. India has a 14 biodiversity reserve, 90 national parks, and 448 wildlife sanctuaries. Biosphere reserves of total 17, an area which is set aside minimally disturbed for the conservation of the resources of the biosphere called biosphere reserve. National parks are 90. A national park is a natural habitat strictly reserved for protection of natural life. Jim Corbett National Park of Uttarakhand, Bandhwagra National Park of Madhya Pradesh, Periyar National Park of Kerala, Kaziranga National Park Assam, Sundarban National Park West Bengal, Kanha National Park Madhya Pradesh, Mudumalai National Park Tamil Nadu, Giri National Park Gujarat, Mahavir Harni Vanastali National Park Hyderabad, Kanha National Park. Animals found are flatulence here given here, students. Sundarban National Park, known for tigers. Kaziranga for the white rhinos, one-horned rhinoceros. Bandipur Wildlife Sanctuary. Specific endangered faunal species are well protected in wildlife sanctuaries. Bandipur is famous for the tigers and deers, elephant. In our Indian elephants, gaurs, tigers, sloth bears, mogurs, Indian rock pythons, four-horned antelopes, and dholes. Other attractions: Nagrole, Madumalai, and Wayanad National Park. Best time to visit April-October. Address: Bandipur district, Chamarajnagar, Karnataka, South India. Sacred groves. India has also a history of a religious and cultural tradition to protection of nature. In many cultures, tracts of the forest were set aside and all trees and wildlife within were venerated and given the total protection. A smaller group of trees than a forest is called as grove. A grove of a trees of a special religious importance to a particular culture is called sacred grove. In these regions, all the trees of a wildlife are respected and given total protection. Sacred groves in India: Kasi and Jayanti Hills of Meghalaya, Aravali Hills of Rajasthan, Western Ghat regions of Karnataka and Maharashtra, Sarguja and Bastar of Chhattisgarh, Chanda of Madhya Pradesh are the few sacred groves in India. Such sacred groves are found in Khasi and Jayanti Hill in Meghalaya, Aravali Hills of Rajasthan. Western Ghat region of Karnataka and Maharashtra and the Sarguja, Chand and Bastara areas of Madhya Pradesh. In Meghalaya, the sacred groves are the last refuges for large number of areas and threatened plants. Ex situ conservation. In this approach, threatened animals and plants are taken out from their natural habitat and placed in a special setting where they can be protected and given special care. Example, zoological parks. Zoological parks, botanical gardens, aquarium, seed and gene banks, wildlife safari parks, and cryopreservation serve this purpose. There are many animals that have become extinct in the wild but continue to be maintained in zoological parks. Now, gametes of threatened species can be preserved in a viable and fertile condition for long periods using cryopreservation technique. Seed of different genetic strains of commercially important plants can be kept for long periods in the seed banks. Eggs can be fertilized in vitro and plants can be propagated using tissue culture methods. Why should we conserve biodiversity? Countless economic benefits from the nature like food includes cereals, pulses, fruits, firewood, fiber, construction materials, industrial products like tannins, lubricants, dyes, resins, perfumes, and product of medicinal importance. More than 25% of the drugs currently sold in the market worldwide are derived from plants, and 25,000 species of a plant contribute to traditional medicine used by the native peoples around the world. With increasing resource put into bioprospecting, exploring molecular, genetic, and special level diversity for product of economic importance. What is bioprospecting means? Exploring molecular, genetic, and species level diversity for a product of economic importance. Enormous benefits we can find. Amazon forest is estimated to produce through photosynthesis 20% of total oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere. So, the Amazon is called as lungs of Earth. Pollination, without which plants cannot give us fruits or seeds, is another service of ecosystem provided through pollinator layer, bees, bumblebees, birds, and bats. There are other benefits that we derive from nature: the aesthetic pleasure of walking through thick woods, watching spring flowers in a full bloom, or waking up to a bulbul's song in the morning. Philosophically or spiritually, we need to realize that the every species has an intrinsic value. We have a moral duty to care for their well being and pass to future generations. Biodiversity known, knows no political boundaries, and its conservation is a collective responsibility of all nations. The Historic Convention on Biological Diversity, the Earth Summit, held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992, called upon all nations to take appropriate measures for conservation of biodiversity and sustainable utilization of its benefits. The World Summit on Sustainable Development, held in 2002 in Johannesburg, South Africa. 190 countries pledged their commitment to achieve by 2010 a significant reduction in the current rate of biodiversity loss at a global, regional, and local levels. Protect world. All the best. Thank you.